Good morning, everyone. So, on my vacay, I finished Unbelievable by Shepard. This is the fourth book in the Pretty Little Liars series. So, it's really hard to review this book and not give spoilers. So, if you don't want to know, you might not want to watch this video. So, you have been warned. But, anyways, so as you guys know, Pretty Little Liars follows a friend group of four. After their friend Allie was killed, they are getting stalked by somebody named A, who knows everything about them and all their dirty little secrets. So we have Hannah, who last book was hit by a car. So in this book, we find out that she's in a coma. She has a hemorrhage, or at least brain bleeding. I can't remember now. So she's not waking up. The girls are all there. Mona's there, even though Mona just humiliated her at her party, like literally the same night. And Lucas is there, and Lucas doesn't like that Mona is there, but he doesn't say anything. He just kind of lets it be. And Lucas is there for Hannah the entire time, like bringing her anything she needs and reading to her, because the doctor said that if you read to Hannah, like, she might be able to hear you, maybe like help wake her up. Hannah has a dream about a night before Allie was killed, and like she tries to stop Allie and say, Allie, you're gonna be killed. And Allie turns to her in a dream, says, I'm fine, Hannah, I'm not dead. And so Hannah thinks that Allie visited her in her dream. Emily, in the last book, her mom caught her kissing Maya, and so her parents sent her away to Iowa to her aunt and uncle's farm. Her aunt and uncle are super, super strict, super, super religious. So, like, they live on a farm. You have to get up, do all the chores. You have to wear, like, the clothing. You can't have your cell phone. And come to find out, their kids have been rebelling and sneaking out at night. And they take Emily to this party where Emily doesn't really want to go to the party because she's in this place she doesn't really know. She can't have contact with Maya, so she doesn't know if she's with Maya right now. But then Emily ends up meeting this girl named, totally just blanked on her name, but hopefully I'll think about it and I can remember it. But Emily meets this girl, I want to say it starts with a T, but she is like super carefree and like the opposite of Maya, and it just kind of makes Emily feel like she can just be her, like she doesn't have to be a certain way, and she kind of falls for her. But then they get caught, and of course her cousins blame it on Emily, and so her aunt and uncle says she can't stay with her, and basically we're gonna drive her to the airport, and said basically your parents need to figure out how to get you back home. So she just runs away, and she ends up on the like national news. And so she eventually comes back to Rosewood, and her parents are all of a sudden done a 180 and have accepted Emily, which they should have just done in the first place. But anyway, Aria in the last book was with Ezra when the cops came, because Sean, her boyfriend that she was with, called the cops because he got a message from A saying she was with Ezra. So now she has no place to go, and Byron, her dad, ends up showing up at the hospital with Hannah because Aria was there, and says like, come live with me. So she's living with Byron and his mistress, Meredith, and she does not like Meredith at all, obviously, because that's the reason her mom and dad aren't together. And it's just really a struggle for her being in that house and being around her dad when she's still just so angry at her dad. But Meredith's trying. She's extended an olive branch, and Meredith teaches at the college Hollis, and so she can take a class every semester, and she gives her class to Aria, so Aria can choose a art class, which I will go back to the art class a little bit later. Actually, you know, I might just go ahead and say it. In the art class, she ends up being partnered with Jenna Kavanaugh, and if you remember, Jenna Kavanaugh is the person that they blinded by throwing a firecracker into their treehouse. And it's been a big secret that they blinded her, that it's their fault. They didn't want to tell no one because they can get in trouble. And then we have Spencer. So, Spencer, I don't remember in which book it was, but she took a essay from her sister and claimed it as hers, so she plagiarized. And she actually is nominated for an award because of it. Her professor, I guess teachers, high school, nominated her for an award. Well, her sister Melissa finds out because, of course, A sends it to her, and they argue, and her sister's calling her all kinds of mean names, and they're going up the stairs, and Spencer, like, goes blank and, like, pushes her. Like, she doesn't realize she's doing it until after the fact that Melissa's on the ground in pain. And then she gets flashback of her doing the same thing to Allie the night she was killed. And so she doesn't have the whole memory because obviously she's blacked out and repressed it. So now Spencer's worried that she's the killer. But all at the same time, there was a video of the girls that had resurfaced, and come to find out, Allie was dating Ian Thompson at the time of her disappearance, and Ian Thompson was with Melissa, Spencer's sister. So that was an interesting revelation. So then Spencer kind of shifts from, well, maybe it's not me, maybe it's my sister, maybe she knew about Allie, and it's just a whole ordeal. Well, Mona, since Hannah's accident, has been with Hannah, and of course, the girls are with Hannah because of her accident, and so they all pair up to make a party for Hannah. At first, it's going to be like a visual for, like, come show, like, your support that she gets better, but then Hannah wakes up, and so it turns into a party for Hannah, and Mona makes it, like, extravagant, like, has models come to Hannah's house so she can pick out the hottest guys to carry her into this party, like, over the top. So Mona and Spencer are together and planning it, and so they're getting really close, and Mona kind of lets Spencer know that she's been getting things from A too, and so Mona is being kind of, like, accepted into their friend group because she's also getting these messages. But Lucas keeps coming around Hannah, and she's really confused because she doesn't remember that they kissed, and she doesn't remember that she likes him. And he keeps saying, like, I don't think you should trust Mona, because, again, at her party, Mona, like, humiliated Hannah. And he keeps saying, don't trust her, and she basically, like, says, Lucas, F off, like, Mona's my best friend. But Mona's been acting a little weird, and, not telling Hannah what happened at the party, but Hannah keeps saying it's fine, it's probably just our normal squabble, but she has, like, a feeling that it wasn't. But then slowly Hannah keeps getting her memory back, and she remembers that she does know who A is because she had gotten a new phone, and A had forgotten to send it under a blocked number. It sent it from their actual number, so she knows. So when she realizes this, it's actually at her party, and at that point, they all think that Melissa is the killer because she was dating Ian. So Mona and Spencer go tell the police while the other girls stay at the party because apparently Mona got Justin Timberlake for Hannah, and she's in love with Justin Timberlake. And so they're gone, and then Aria shows up at the party, and she was like, hey guys, I just talked to Jenna Kavanaugh. Jenna Kavanaugh said that Allie and her planned the whole thing. That Jenna asked Allie to go and get her stepbrother in trouble because her stepbrother was molesting her. And so it just had to be an accident that Allie was there that night. And so they had been lied to by Allie, and that they weren't the cause of it. And that Jenna was actually happy that it happened, even though she's blind, because it got rid of her brother. But Jenna also said somebody else was there, and we don't know who that somebody else is. And then whenever Aria is saying that, that's when Hannah's remembering, oh, I know who it is. And she was like, it's Mona. And I guess Mona had sent her the text after her party, and she'd recognized Mona's number, and Mona had messed up. And so they're messaging Spencer like, hey, you need to get out of the car with Mona, like, she's A. And so Spencer's like trying to get Mona to stop the car, but Mona's catching on. So Mona like goes crazy and like speeds up and goes to this cliff area and basically says, Spencer, like, we've gotten really close. Like, I want you to join me. Let's get those bitches. And like explains that like they really bullied Mona. They did. And that Mona was there when they blinded when Allie blinded Jenna. And Mona also got a scar on her belly. And that's why she would never change in front of Hannah. Hannah always thought that was weird that she would never change. And so she's been faking being best friends with Hannah and actually kind of like Spencer. And so, of course, Hannah's going to be crushed. But after Spencer says, like, hell no, Mona tries to choke her. And then Mona goes over the cliff and her, like, neck breaks and everything. But, Mona revealed that whenever Maya moved in, she put a bunch of, Allie's stuff outside, and she found Allie's diary, and that's how she knew everything about them. And so she kind of created the A, and she was stalking them, and she was like, I always had to be one step ahead of you. I had to think about what you were going to think about. It was like a game to her. And, she also said that at the very end of Allie's diary, she wrote that, she gave Ian an ultimatum that if he wasn't going to leave Melissa that night, that she was going to tell everyone. And so that's when they arrest Ian for Allie's murder. He keeps insisting he's not the murderer, but everyone thinks he is. And they go to, what is it called, the arraignment, when they set your court date. But they went to that, but after it, Emily is outside and she thinks she saw she thinks she saw Allie in the back of a car that went by. But she's like, it couldn't be Allie. I saw her dead body. And like, but now she's kind of second guessing herself. Is Allie truly dead? Is A truly gone? And yeah, that's pretty much like the first season of the series. So I'm interested to see the next book and how the next book goes. But yeah, that was the 4th book of the Pretty Little Liars series. Thank you for making it this far in the video. I know it's a long one.